NSL world, hello. It's been a minute. GM JMac here for my beloved Blazers. I think last time I was able to jump on camera, it was the waning weeks of the season. I can't remember what I was talking about. I was probably complaining about something trivial, knowing myself. What a season we had. The NSL has never been in a better place, and yeah, I just love this league. I love what it allows me to do from a fantasy mental perspective. I love the community, and I think that's the element that we'll keep building. And I'm even thinking in the off season of so the GMs that in the Melbourne area, we should get together and I don't know, have a beer, have a feed, something like that, and just enrich what is already like a staple in a lot of our lives in terms of communication and friendship. And yeah, it's just this little sprinkle of, I don't know, emotion and fun and competitiveness that gets squeezed out of adult life sometimes. Yeah, I just adore this league, and it's great to see so many teams who are invested. There's never been more quality teams in the league. I can see those next powerhouses just sort of building and rounding out and getting that first taste of maybe playoff action, and then it hurts, and you go back and you think, I don't want that to happen again, and you make different moves next time to push yourself even further, and the cycle continues, and you see powerhouses sort of fall away or decide to step away and consolidate in a different manner. And I don't know, I just think it's a marvel, and I hope it stays around my whole life. I know the admins probably feel sometimes it's a bit too much work and a bit tedious, but I just love it. So I hope you've all had a great season too. The playoffs, some pretty cool first round matchups. The Cavs Raps was a lot of fun. Seeing Memphis squirm to the upstart Thunder was fun. Gee, if there's a theme this year, it's 2K variance. On any day, on any given PC, you just don't know what you're getting, and I know that feels like that shouldn't be the case, but maybe that's the best representative of kind of the random element of basketball that we've ever had, compared back to 2K21, for example, where it was sort of the physical narrative looked the same every game. Like that's when I had the 78 win team, and I knew exactly what I was going to see every single game. So yeah, that was good for me, but um, much to the chagrin of people who kind of have put in effort to sim and to plan, and for it to not go to plan. Maybe that's good for the league. I don't know. But it's been a pretty wild 2K in its different iterations this year. So that's a bit of a theme. Yeah, first round of playoffs are done. We had the Phoenix Suns. We were given a clean bill of health, which was really nice. I didn't. We've had a lot of injuries throughout the year, so it was nice to kind of peak at the right time. And I think selfishly the admin rule this year would have helped me if they hadn't put it in. So there's been huge injuries to some really good players, which sucks. Not on my team. So in that sense, it would have been easier for me. But I'm just joshing. I really think that it's been an amazing move, and it's so deflating to have good players that play NBA playoffs and just open themselves up to the much higher risk of injury due to the physical nature, the fatigue of the whole season. So I think that was all the moves I think they made were positive, but I think that was no brainer. I've always felt such inequality with the people who play playoffs versus the ones who don't. And you'd be rooting for your NBA version of your player, to miss the playoffs, it kind of goes against celebrating them. So I think it was a great change. We played Phoenix Suns, and they were what I expected. A really feisty, really long defensive team. I've never seen my guys get blocked so many times. McDaniel's awesome. awesome defensive player. Like, it looks as big as KD in the game, which he'll be a weapon. Brunson, they've refined him this year. He was kind of, I just thought he'd be a season away and he'd still be a little plotter who got blocked a lot of the time and kind of didn't have his the repertoire that he has in the NBA, but they've really put some time in to build him up. So he looks like a steal for Payton and Turner, and I think it was a little pick asset. He's kind of like a discount floor general all-star type point guard, which you need. So that's an amazing ad for Phoenix. Really tall, like they ran bol. Don't call me a center. He's a wing. Sorry, they ran bol at small forward, and he's just enormous. But having said that, it went our way, which I expected, because yes, it was a storied run from Phoenix to kind of go from obscurity and tank and sort of trying to maximize their losses and their picks, and then deciding, which I love and admire about Lattice, that he's just like, nah, let's do it. I see an opportunity to get some good players in. I'm going to run this as far as I can this year and keep building. And he didn't sacrifice the longer term security and pieces. He's built a little core that I think he'll keep. The series went as expected. Just too many vets. KD, LeBron on my team. Too much size. Drummond, Pirtle, Thompson, Cornette, and all the games were really close up until that fourth, and that was obviously when the 2K had predicated that was our run, and it kind of blew out the margin really quickly, and it took away from they were pretty tense games. They were very close. Like, Phoenix led at half times, at 3/4 times, I'm pretty sure, in some of the games. But this was to be expected. My team full of vets, that extra depth that I've been able to kind of sort of slowly build up throughout the year, whereas Phoenix made all these win now moves, or like more leaning towards winning in the second half of the year, so they had less time to round out the roster. But it was a great series. Lattice and I have some nice little competitive banter. I always think he's just having a go at me, and I bait him with things, and he fires up, and it adds to the atmosphere in the league. And I like that there's some animosity, even if it's just for show, WWE style. It's not fun when there's no villains or there's no rivalry. So I think the Suns did really well, but we would have expected some kind of result like that based on our team and how we'd gone this season. And we kept an eye on the other West teams. I'd hope that after Charlotte winning that first game as well against Wizards, they might have given them a bit more of a battle. But Josh has been masterful behind the controls for a while now, but especially this year. And now he's got the players to boot, so they survived. Dylan, speaking of like controls, the lab tech figured it out, and Shams will probably get my vote for GM of the year. But Cavs stole that series away, which was pretty impressive. And then in the West, as I said, Memphis squirming against OKC. They rightfully got through. Spurs, Cantor got through. Spurs are just the biggest team. And I know my team's tall, but you look physically on 2K at the game, and they're just so big, like such a big team. So Memphis Spurs will be really exciting. And that brings me to the matchup against Denver. So Denver kind of blitzed out of the gate against the Wolves, and we're almost looking for a series sweep. And then credit to Ethan, he went back to what worked, and he didn't have a lot of continuity. He's had a lot of injuries. He doesn't have LaMelo. Jimmy came at the deadline, and he just hasn't had a lot of time to find a rhythm, to put in some sim work. He's been married. He's gotten married. He's been at international cheerleading competitions. So he's had bigger fish to fry. So the Wolves made it a really competitive series, but the Nuggets got through, and they've had the healthiest year that the Nuggets have probably ever had this year. So Porter's been present and great all year in the NBA. Steph, Clay, healthy. So it's two squads that are entirely healthy going at it, I think. So um, I haven't had. I've got a few strategies that I've figured out months ago that I hope still work. I don't know if that's true or not because 2K each time it sort of evolves. What worked the day before doesn't tend to work. But look, our baseline is pretty high just because of the caliber of players we have. So um, I think we're both good rebounding teams, great rebounding teams, great scoring teams. I think we're the top two scoring teams in the whole league, maybe two of the three. I think Washington maybe snuck up. Um, yeah, the time I've tried to find some time, but I've got, you might not be able to hear her cooing, but I've got a almost 4-week-old daughter, which has been amazing to spend time with her. But as a second child, and she's been a bit sick this week. It's been just crazy dad duty. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy being thrust back into that. But I wouldn't have it any other way. But it also makes me realize that you need those little outlets like NSL or hobbies or sport or whatever it is you can fit into your life to keep that keep everything balanced. You need those outlets. You need you time. It's not selfish to have me time. So NSL is my little outlet in that regard. I can't play basketball. I've chosen not to for a few reasons, more just to respecting the wife and family and being around to help as much as I can. But it's just, yeah, NSL is my little outlet. So that's as important as ever now that I can chat with people. I can check box scores when I'm feeding her at midnight and 3 a.m. and things like that. So it's been great. But Nuggets Portland, yeah, we're taller. That's what I'll hang my hat on. We're taller. I think Digger will do a little bit of planning and strategizing, but the positional restrictions obviously limit crazy movement of players out of position. But the Nuggets have a very traditional lineup anyway. Curry is a legitimate point guard. Traditional point guard. Clay, traditional shooting guard, wing. Porter Jr., traditional sort of three, more like a hybrid four, but a traditional three. And then the two just giants, which is the 2K way, same as my team. So I think whoever wins the glass will matter. I think I just have more size, and I think when it comes down to it, that matters a lot in 2K. And as Ben touched on in the preview, like I've got just some big wings, big defensive wings. I know Digger's got some options off the bench as well, but I've just got some big wings, and yeah, I think that matters in 2K. But I'm expecting a really good series. I'm expecting them to take games. I don't want this to come across as conceited. I'm confident we should get out of the series because we've kind of earned that right, and the record shows we've been great when we're healthy and we win a lot of games. But it's not taking for granted the talent on the Nuggets and Digger's competitiveness. So I'm really looking forward to it. I really like Digger, and I think he's real gent of the NSL, and it was so endearing to hear him how he's walking around the house hyperventilating, swearing about 2K, and it's funny just how similar we all are, and I just love how people care about their team as if it was real, because it is real, just in a fictional digital way. So yes, I think the Nuggets will give us a really good series, and then we'll see what happens after that. Best not to take anything for granted, I've learned, and just tick the boxes off as they present themselves to you, and one step at a time. But I would look, this is our year to really, really, really try and just grab one more title. And I know there's 2-3 teams that are going to make that really, really hard for us. But we'll see. That challenge makes whoever wins the title makes it so worthwhile that you've got these great managers and great teams that you respect deeply, and then if you can manage to beat them at their best, it's a great commendation on your own ability and your own commitment. We'll see. But yeah, it's nice to have health. The trade block, that's when it's all over, when the boring playoffs and the boring finals are over and the site reopens and the site flips, that's when it comes alive, and you'll see everyone lighting up Discord in the trade blocks and all the trades that had already been hashed out. We'll go through, and even myself, like I was reading the trade blocks and looking at the other people's rosters, and already looking ahead at, was there anything I could do, any guys I could move, which feels a bit dirty considering we're all still live in the playoffs. But I think it's good management to always be looking out for any potential deals. Yeah, what else? No, playoffs. It's been great to see that. We care about the games, but how each game just carries so much weight in the playoffs. And the NBA playoffs have been fantastic to watch, or at least to touch in with and watch highlights of and things like that. So yeah, Portland, I think we'll get out of the Nuggets series. After that, I don't know. But we'll see. Digger might have some surprises up his sleeve. But yeah, we're healthy, we're well rested. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Memphis, Spurs. Have to say Spurs are the favorite for that, but I really hope Memphis push them. They have they're a very long team, but I think the size of the Spurs is being slept on a little bit. They are enormous. But I hope Digger really pushes. Sorry, not Digger, Rootsy. I hope Rootsy really pushes Nelson, the Spurs. And then in the East, we've got Knicks and Washington, and I just hope that the Knicks take advantage of those first three games against the Wizards. Otherwise, I think the Wizards will be too big. And Josh has got his lockdown 8-man rotation where he'll get high 30s from Capella and Embiid because he only sets the one big off the bench with one position. So he's really fine-tuned that from week 12, 13. Just a really, really tight rotation, and he moves pieces in and out, but the flow of the rotation remains the same, and he really maximizes his team. And that his twin bigs just eat everybody alive, probably including our team. Capella's way better than I thought he would be in 2K this season. And I kicked the tires on him mid-season and tried him in some sims, and it was just nothing like this. So the system and the environment in Washington's just been perfect. And that's what am I trying to say? That's attested to Josh putting in the time and testing everything and dodging bullets with trades and making amazing trades. So he'd be on my GM of the year ballot as well. So I think that'll be an amazing series. I still think Washington will be too strong, but I hope the Knicks take advantage while PG is out for their sake, for the East and probably for the West sake too, because I think the Wiz are the best team, fully healthy. And then we've got Bucks and Raps, and it should just be Bucks as favorites. But yeah, Dill's just relentless at the controls and yeah, real competitor as well. So he'll get the most out of his team, but I think the Bucks should go in his favorites and probably should get it done. But yeah, the Raps have a lot of size. Both very defensive teams as well. Both very, very defensive. Very similar. I think there will be some very grimy, physical games with lots of high rebound numbers and high steals and high turnovers and poor shooting. But that's playoff basketball. So yeah, look, I think I've averaged about 4 hours sleep a night this week, so I feel like I'm slurring. I feel like I'm slurring my words. I hope I wasn't too nonsensical throughout. Yeah, I've been on hospital duty and then parent duty a lot, so it was nice to get a tiny bit of free time and just talk to the NSL world. And yeah, looking forward to the next round of the playoffs, and all the best to everyone who's still in. And hey, even though we're eyes on the playoffs, anything on Portland that you like the look of, you hit me up. We can start talking business. Wink. All right. Take care, everybody. Till next time.